Namaste all. Welcoming you all to this Mind Care webinar, episode 16, in which today's topic is about emotional wellness for unsung heroes. So, who are these unsung heroes? They are caregivers of people with disabilities and special needs. And why are we having this webinar? In observance of the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, which was proclaimed in 1992 by the United Nations General Assembly. This day is to promote the rights and well-being of persons with disabilities in all aspects of society and development, and to increase the awareness of the situation in political, social, economic, and cultural life. For a person with disabilities to exist with good well-being in the society, the most important person is the caregiver. And who takes care of the mental health of the caregiver? And that is why we are here. And today's speaker, we have Srimati Jyoti Kolatur, who is the senior consultant counseling psychologist for the DAV group. She's a well-trained mental health professional. She's also the founding secretary of the Tamil Nadu Career Counselor Association, and she's been an invited speaker in several national conferences on mental health and well-being. Before we move on to Jyoti ma'am's talk, we would like to have an ice-breaking question. So in the chat box, we will give you a link, or you can go to a website called menti.com in your gadget, in your device, either phone or laptop, and type this code. First, we'll share the link so that you'll be able to use that link. And we are just sharing it in a minute. So it has been shared in the chat of the Zoom, or you can, I will now screen share that website. You can go to menti.com and type the code 47632662, or use the link in the chat box. So what is the question? What are the common problems or issues you face as a caregiver of a person with disabilities or special needs? ஒரு டிசபிலிட்டிஸ் இருக்கவங்களுக்கோ, ஒரு ஸ்பெஷல் நீட்ஸ் இருக்கவங்களுக்கோ, ஒரு கேர்கிவரா, ஒரு பேரண்டா, ஒரு ஃபேமிலி மெம்பரா நீங்க என்னென்ன ப்ராப்ளம் இல்லை இஷ்யூஸ் ஃபேஸ் பண்றீங்க? அதை வந்து உங்களால நீங்க அந்த வெப்சைட்ல போய் இந்த கோடை டைப் பண்ணியும் பண்ணலாம், இல்ல சாட் பாக்ஸ்லயும் போடலாம். You can type it there. Are we getting any responses in the chat box?
No, ma'am, not yet, ma'am.
Yeah, we are getting no access in public place, pity, over pampering, difficulties. Okay, so we've got difficulty without caring, left aloof, and then, okay, depression, no access in public place. Okay, sure. So thank you. So with these questions, I will stop sharing. Over to Jyoti Kolatur ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Preeti, for the introduction, and namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
ma'am.
Today is the
Namaste,
16th
ma'am.
webinar series. Mindcare has been conducting webinar series every month, and this is our 16th webinar series. And today we've
Namaste, ma'am.
gathered here. Yes, today we've gathered here to acknowledge these incredible individuals, right? Who dedicate their time, their energy, their effort for people with special needs. When I say special needs, it is not just special needs like how ma'am was telling. It is with special needs kids or a disability, all of these people. Caregivers are, silent heroes in our society. We do not, think overall globally, for these caregivers, if we start giving salaries, it would be, to be crossing $500 billion per year. But majority of the time, it is not even recognized, right? So நீங்க caregivers பார்த்திருக்கீங்க அப்படின்னா, I have been interacting with them for the last 10 years. I have always noticed that these people are extremely positive. Yes, if you are a caregiver here, you will understand, like they are extremely positive, one. And where do they get that strength from? Right? To just take care of that person, right? That embody of strength, that is unparalleled. Not because they are not struggling, they are the most struggling, right? But they still show up every single day with unwavering commitment, right? The challenges they face, and they are majority of the time, again, avangala paatha avanga dhaan juggling multiple roles. They'll be doing a lot of other roles as well, and still they keep moving forward, right? And what sets this caregivers, again, avangala thaniya eduthu pathina, their attitude is completely different. Or common man ko or caregiver ko pathina, avangaloda attitude is what is, though they are like lot of exhaustion and uncertainty, they always focus on the positive things. Most of the caregivers I've noticed, illa paathukalam, illa vandrum, ma'am inniki therapy romba nalla pochu, my child smiled for the first time, my child spoke a first word, there was good movement, there was some improvement. They always focus on the positive things. That's what I have noticed. People agree here? Do you agree with me? If you are a caregiver, or if you are, if you are anybody who noticed a caregiver, I have noticed these two things.
Yes, ma'am.
நீங்க வேற ஏதாவது notice பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா? I always see strength and positivity. Anything else you have noticed? Yes, they are very sportive. Yes, they are extremely patient, right? Yes. Okay, I'll ask another question then. What does it mean to be a helpful to all? Exactly, they are very helpful to all, right? Because they know how difficult it is, right? So they are very, very nice, very kind people, very kind-hearted. I don't know how, do they suddenly become that, or these kids give them the strength to become that, right? So what does it mean to be a caregiver, right? It takes extraordinary, to give extraordinary care, exceeding this usual family relationship. It's beyond all of that. It involves significant amount of time, energy, and financial help for a longer period of time. And also it involves sometimes, unpleasant, uncomfortable, physiologically and psychologically exhausting chores. Yes, it's difficult. It's not easy for them at all, right? I would want to, share a few facts before we move into, this our session. Like 83% of help provided to these kids or to people with any disabilities comes from unpaid family members or unpaid family caregivers. Yes. And 2/3 of it is, மூணு பேர் இருந்தா அதுல 2 பேர் is a woman. It's a lady who's doing the caregiving job. And out of 4, 2 will be in the sandwich generation, where, I call myself also the sandwich generation, because, we will have to take care of your parents who will be, older and needing the help. And also, if there is a child, with special needs or somebody with difficulties, disabilities, you need to take care of them also. So you are, sandwiched between these two. Yes, am I audible? Am I loud and clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. And 23% of caregivers have told their health has, gone down. It's my health is not the same. That's what, caregivers have told. And they spend close to 40 to 60 hours per week, just with, it is 24 by 7. I mean, no doubt about it. But full time, when 40 to 60 hours, it's like, more than a full time job. They spend that much hours just to do this caretaking job. And some have told that I feel very isolated. This is my only job. This is what I do all the time, right? And definitely their career would have been impacted. Whoever has taken up that role, their career is definitely impacted. And caregivers, again, I've also noticed they have high BP. They have, majority of them say, like, I'm also diabetic due to prolonged stress. All of you agree?
Yes, ma'am. Just to request you, you could also probably, because some people may be a general from general audience as well. So you can give a little bit about what kind of disabilities and special needs patients we are speaking about. Like what are those disabilities we are speaking about? What are the special needs? Who are the caregivers? Just a kind of that before we move forward, ma'am.
Sure, sure. See, when I'm talking about, special needs, kids with special needs, um, uh, learning difficulty உள்ள ஒரு கிட்டா இருக்கலாம், இல்ல சிபி பேஷண்ட், சிபி சைல்டா இருக்கலாம், with Priti, would you like to add, or with a lot of, adults with the difficulties, right? Would you
Yes,
like to add?
yes. Yes, to add to ma'am, it could be ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder இருக்கவங்க, autism இருக்கவங்க, cerebral palsy இருக்கவங்க, and then other kind of intelligence, கொஞ்சம் low intelligence, mental retardation இருக்கலாம். இது special needsல வரும். More so disabilities ன்னு பார்த்தோம்னா, children with chronic conditions. For example, they could be affected by infections like polio, or they could have visual impairment, அதாவது blindன்னு நம்ம சொல்றது visual impairment, ஹியரிங் இம்பேர்மெண்ட், காது கேளாண்மை, கண்ணு தெரியாம இருக்கிறது, அண்ட் தென் மஸ்குலர் டிஸ்ட்ரோஃபி, எஸ், அண்ட் தென் அதர் கைண்ட்ஸ் ஆஃப் மசில் ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ், தென் சின்ன வயசுலேருந்தே ஏதோ ஒரு ஹெல்த் கண்டிஷனால அவங்களோட ஃபுல் ஃபங்க்ஷனை பண்ண முடியாதவங்க. நம்ம நார்மலாக நடக்கிறோம் அப்படின்னா அவங்களுக்கு நடையில் ஏதாவது டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் இருக்கலாம். இந்த மாதிரி கண்டிஷன்ஸ்க்கு இருக்கிறவங்க எல்லாரையும் நம்ம ஸ்பெஷல் நீட்ஸ் அண்ட் பர்சன்ஸ் வித் டிசபிலிட்டிஸ்னு நம்ம சொல்வோம். எஸ்.
Thank you, Dr. And also with difficulties, adding on to that, in between, accident or whatever happens, and then from then on, I have to, become a full-time care taker. I will be giving a lot of, cases where nanga paathirukka cases, so that you will understand, right? In the sessions, I will be sharing that. நிறைய caregivers, what they have also told is, it's, more than the main problem itself. It's not even the illness which is the problem. It is the uncertainty it is causing. That is a bigger problem for them. And sadness is like, some caregivers have told that we've experienced, physically I'm doing so much, but that child or that patient is there with me only, but they don't even understand that I'm doing so much for them emotionally and psychologically. That person is not here, only physically they are here. They don't understand how much effort I put, right, for the child. So but today it's like, you're busy taking care. Exactly. What will happen to my child? Because that is one important thing every parent who has a special needs, child fear about. Who next? எனக்கு அப்புறம் யார் பார்த்துக்குவா, right? We will be talking about all of those things also today, right? And when you are busy taking care of others, it is extremely important to take care of yourself as well, because you completely ignore yourself. Self-care எப்பவுமே ஜீரோல தான் இருக்கும். Like I told you, 89% have told that no self-care அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. So you have to understand, you cannot keep pouring, right? ஒரு empty mug இதுல இருந்து pour பண்ணிட்டே இருக்க முடியாது இல்லையா? So you need to take care of yourself first, so that you can take care of the others. Taking small steps, or prioritizing yourself. Prioritizing yourself will never be in your list at all. It is always the other person you need to take care of, be it physical or emotional well-being. சின்ன பிரேக்ஸ் எடுக்கிறதா இருக்கட்டும், taking support, getting professional help, or acknowledging your own needs. you need to understand it is not selfish, because that is another fact. Everybody will say that, those are all myths. It's not like, நீங்க உங்களை பார்த்துக்கிறது is definitely not a selfish act, right? So the caregiver burden அப்படிங்கும்போது caregiver, it's like four things, it is all interlinked actually. Emotionally, and then emotional, social, financial, and physical. In the nalume always interlinked, correct? So the emotional, none of the caregiver would have, envisioned my future will be like this. And nobody wanted that also, right? And emotionally, that is very, very difficult for them. Socially, a lot of people tell me, I don't take my child to my friend's place because they might feel uncomfortable. I don't take them to public places because, நிறைய பேர் எழுதியிருந்தீங்க pity, என்னோட kid அப்படி பார்க்கறது, I don't like it, right? They look at me, in a way which I'm not very comfortable with, right? So I stop taking them. Just imagine there is no social let out at all. It is always inside your house. It's very, very difficult for the child and for the caregiver also, financially, right? And it's not a one day thing. It is going to be, for a longer period of time. And what if my insurance? Exactly, my child's action. I will tell you one more case. இப்போ நான் இதை முடிச்சுட்டு நான் அந்த கேஸை சொல்றேன் நான். My, what if my insurance doesn't cover it? What if my insurance has stopped covering all of these major things in the long term, right? That fear again, that fear is there. And over the period of time, சின்னதா இருக்கும்போது நீங்க கேரி பண்ணி எல்லாம் பண்ணிடுவீங்க. When the child becomes, 10 years or 12 years, I'm unable to carry that child, ma'am. I'm unable to, take that child to do whatever the things I'm supposed to be doing, I'm not able to do. That's another big problem caregivers face, right? This case I wanted to share with you was, I volunteer with one of the government schools where it's only a primary school, 5th, 6th வரைக்கும் தான் இருக்கும் அந்த ஸ்கூல்ல, சென்னையில. We have only 120 kids. We started with only one kid, ஒரு ஸ்பெஷல் நீட் கிட் தான் இருந்தாங்க அந்த ஸ்கூல்ல. பட் ஓவர் த பீரியட் ஆஃப் டைம் அந்த ஸ்கூல் பத்தி நிறைய பேர் கேள்விப்பட்டு, டுடே we have close to 20 kids, with the special needs அங்க. And the kids like it. They are all from private schools, and அங்க இருந்து எல்லாத்தையும் விட்டுட்டு they've come here. And one person, 8 years back, this person, he has a child with autism and with a combination of ADHD. So this child doesn't know how to manage, and the parent. So இங்க கூட்டிட்டு வரதுக்கு முன்னாடியில இருந்தே, அவர் என்ன சொல்லுவாருன்னா, எங்க கூட்டிட்டு போனாலும் மேம், ஈவன் பிஃபோர் ட்ரெயின் ஜேர்னில எல்லாம் நாங்க போறோம் அப்படின்னா, ஈவன் பிஃபோர் அதர்ஸ் மேக் ஃபன் ஆர் அதர்ஸ் காமெண்ட், ஏன் இப்படி வச்சிருக்கீங்க, ask him to sit quiet or ask him to stay still அப்படின்னு சொல்றதுக்கு முன்னாடியே I publicly go tell them, ஆமா ஆமா என்னோட கிட் லூஸ் தான் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டா, people will, அவனுக்கு கொஞ்சம் மென்டலி ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கு அப்படின்னு நான் முன்னாடியே சொல்லிடுவேன். ஸோ தட் தே வில் நாட், அவங்க சொல்லி எனக்கு ஹர்ட் ஆக வேண்டாம் அப்படின்னு நான் முன்னாடியே சொல்லிடுவேன். எவ்ரிவேர் இன் த மால், ரைட்? இட் இஸ் சோ ஹர்ட்ஃபுல். என் கிட்டுக்கு இந்த ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்குன்னு எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்றது இஸ் a different thing. என் கிட்டு பைத்தியம், என் கிட்டு லூசு அப்படின்னு நான் முன்னாடியே சொல்லிடுவேன் மேம். ஸோ தட் பீப்புள் வில் நாட் அஃபெண்ட் மீ, ரைட்? தட் இஸ் வெரி டிஃபிகல்ட் ஃபார் அ பேரண்ட் டு ஈவன் சே தட், ரைட்? How much, again, நீங்க நோட்டீஸ் பண்ணீங்கன்னா, the caregivers are so knowledgeable. அந்த கிட் என்ன go through பண்றதோ அதை they know each and everything in and out of that, issue. என்ன பண்ண வரைக்கும் they know it. அவ்வளோ எஃபர்ட் போட்டிருப்பாங்க, right? So this parent, in the 8 years of his journey, in 8th year endல, he wrote a book, Understanding Kids with Autism. So just imagine how much he would have learned and understood. And we invited him as a chief guest for that school because on the 25 parent இவங்க பார்க்கணும் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்காக. And that was such an amazing journey he has gone through. And now he doesn't say that anymore. Yes, he needs help. He is, please help him out. இந்த மாதிரி நான் பேசுவேன். I will never tell that என் கிட்டுக்கு இது இருக்கு அப்படின்னு நான் சொல்றதே இல்லை மேம். But I'm so ashamed that I used to tell that only because I don't want somebody else to come and hurt my child or insult my child in front of me, right? So எனக்கு இந்த how do you find out இந்த இவங்க எல்லாருக்கும் the caregivers burnout இருக்கா அப்படின்னு நான் I'm sure end of the session நீங்க email ID கொடுப்பீங்க. நான் உங்களுக்கு for caregivers whoever need it, I'll prepare and share this as a questionnaire so that once in 3 days 4 days நீங்க எடுத்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா you will know where you need help also, right? In the physical science, இந்த எப்பவுமே டயர்டா இருப்பாங்க அவங்க. தோ ஐ டோல்ட் இட்ஸ் பாசிட்டிவிட்டி, எல்லாமே பாசிட்டிவா இருப்பாங்க. ஆனா தேர் ஆல்வேஸ் டயர்ட், ரைட்? அது 1-to-1 வந்து பேசும்போது தே டெல். ஆனா இன் ஃப்ரண்ட் ஆஃப் த சைல்ட் தே ஆர் ஆல்வேஸ் பாசிட்டிவ் வித் ஸ்மைலி ஃபேஸ் அண்ட் தே ஆர் வெரி சப்போர்ட்டிவ். நீங்க சொன்னது எல்லாமே. பட் வென் தே நான் படுத்திருக்கேன் மேம், நான் எழுந்திரிச்சேன் மேம், பட் ஸ்டில் ஐ ஆம் டயர்ட் ஆல் த டைம், ரைட்? ஒரு எப்பவுமே ஒரு ஏக்ஸ், எனக்கு எப்பவுமே ஒரு வலி இருந்துட்டே இருக்கும் மேம் என் பாடியில. இட் கேன் பி மை ஹெட் ஏக் ஆர் மை மசில் பெயின் ஆர் பிகாஸ் ஐ கோ த்ரூ கான்ஸ்டன்ட் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ். That one in the chat we saw, right? Who after me itself is a very big question. And in the 20 parents we joined them there, all of them had the same problem. Yeah, who next after us, right? So because they never knew, all of them were from different areas, but now that 20 families are like family members. They're always there for each other, right? So that's what that it helped them, more than the family, their own family members, இவங்க தான் அவங்களுக்கு family, right? And sleeping problems, நிறைய caregivers tell me they find it very very difficult. அவங்களால தூங்கவே முடியறது இல்ல. I'm just laying in the bed now, but I don't sleep, I cannot sleep, right? Again, eating, usually stress இருக்கிறவங்க they either overeat or undereat, right? இவங்க நான் overeat பண்ணி நான் பார்க்கறதே கிடையாது. Most of the caregivers always undereat only, right? And they always have like the feeling sick because அவங்களோட immunity எல்லாம் ரொம்பவே லோவா இருக்கிறது தான் நான் நோட்டீஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். Physical signs, right? Emotional signs is, emotionally they are actually drained. Yeah, even if they want to cry, I've never seen them crying. Maybe they don't want to, but they are drained. They don't want to, frustrated, they feel helpless most of the time. They have a lot of mood swings, but they don't know where to show it, right? So again, I'll share one very personal, with my mom was a caregiver for my dad when his car met with an accident. What happened was, she was, she would not sleep because she would not trust anybody. Both his legs were broken, so he's on the bed all the time. So all night she's up, all day she's up. I mean, impossible for any human being to take care of anybody like that. So 1 week, after 1 week, what happened? She's very cranky. She's like annoying. She doesn't like any annoyed all the time. So these were common signs because she's again tired and angry for no reason. But when we tell, please go rest, she would not rest. Maybe because she was not, she felt only she can take better care of her husband. But after that, after we had to shout at her and go get some rest, we are here to take care. And after 2 days, she felt better, but she would never agree to all of those things. Right? This is exactly how they will feel. They'll feel very angry for no reason. And then everybody, right? So thank you for sharing it. They feel helpless. They feel hopeless all the time. And then becoming detached, right? So and the detachment and they also have this guilt. Maybe I'm not doing enough. I should do more. I should do even more. But what more can they do? They are actually doing their best. But ஆனாலும் அந்த fear, அவங்களுக்கு guilt இருந்துகிட்டே இருக்கும். These are the emotional signs. Behavioral signs again. இந்த avoid பண்றது, எல்லாரையுமே avoid பண்றது, right? That also I have seen a lot of them doing. Social activities போக மாட்டாங்க. Any family festivals or functions they don't attend. Self-care, again, ignoring their personal health or hygiene or rest, everything comes under that only. But எல்லாத்தையுமே அவங்க neglect பண்ணிடுவாங்க. Again, focusing on ஒரு complete task, because their focus is only that child or that person, right? But மத்த எல்லாத்தையுமே focus பண்ண முடியாது அவங்களால. Their focus is only this person. And unhealthy, நிறைய பேர் நான் பார்த்ததுல unhealthy coping mechanism கொஞ்சம் அதிகமாவே பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. So they don't get into substance. நான் ரொம்ப substance because they are scared, who will take care of them அப்படின்னு. But what are the other unhealthy coping mechanisms? They either overthink or overreact. And again, another thing I've noticed is they don't sit in. இப்போ normal people வந்து இப்போ recent times gadgets ரொம்ப அதிகமா யூஸ் பண்ற அளவுக்கு அவங்க நான் யூஸ் பண்ணி பார்க்கறது இல்லை. So that is one good thing. They don't do that also. Right? And forgetfulness, they forget. நிறைய விஷயங்கள் மறந்துட்டு இருந்தாங்க அவங்க, right? So daily tasks, I completely forgot, I messed up, I missed, right? So concentration was poor, forgetfulness was high, negative self-talk கொஞ்சம் அந்த guilt ஓட சேர்ந்து, I'm not able to handle, what if I'm failing, who will be, who will take care, what next, what next, what next. That fear constant அவங்களுக்கு கொஞ்சம் அதிகமா இருந்த மாதிரி we felt. And I'll tell you one more case where this 8-year-old, CP child, so she will not talk. She's a, அவங்களுக்கு கான்வர்ஸ் பண்ண தெரியாது. They will not talk. She was in a school, 8th standard child. அவங்க வீட்லயும் ஃபுல் டைம் அவங்க அம்மா பார்த்துட்டு ஸ்கூல்லயும் வந்து உட்கார்ந்துருப்பாங்க. It is not possible at all for anybody to take care full time at home. And am I audible? Am I going too fast or?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You are audible.
Okay. So this child, and being a girl child, again, she was constantly worried actually. இவங்க what can this person do, right? So இவங்க நான் full time எப்படி மேம் பார்த்துக்கிறது. But when we were talking about, why don't you, இந்த டாஸ்க்கை வந்து நீங்க யாருக்காவது கொடுக்கலாம் இல்லையா? நீங்க you can, have a shadow teacher or somebody, so that. And she did not trust anybody because, girl child, ma'am, I don't know, she cannot communicate. அவங்க என்ன பண்ணுவாங்களோ எனக்கு தெரியாது. பட் இவங்க இப்படியே பண்ணிட்டு இருந்ததுனால ஒரு பாயிண்ட்ல, if any complaint comes, she was in a normal school, in an inclusive school, but any complaint comes, she was getting annoyed and irritated at the child also. She would start shouting at the child. But the child, what can the child do? She's only 8-year-old. She's going through so much, it's difficult for the child also. So when she was sent to me, I only told her, 3 hours we will, start, be in the school only till half a day. Please take her home. And 3 hours, let's have her, we'll leave her with another person, like a shadow teacher. So the shadow teacher will be with the child full time. They will take care. So that 3 hours you get, right, for yourself. So that on the 3 hours when you rest, the entire evening after the afternoon, you are available for the child, with a little more energy to take care of the child, right? So after this, in the shadow teacher and was given to the child, there's so much transformation, and the mother felt, it is okay for me to, and the teacher nammi kudukala appdi solli. She's again another caretaker who was helping you actually. Luckily, this other person was also very, very nice and understanding. But she was not comfortable with anybody else in this. The child could not talk, could not, just imagine, not communicative also, right? So it's very, very difficult. But understand, you can delegate in the work, and if you trust that person. Small things, not too much, right? So உங்களுடைய self-care is that important, right? Why is self-care important? Can anyone tell me? Is self-care is, நீங்க self-care நான் சொல்றது வந்து, I'm not talking about going and sitting in a parlor, right? It's not even a luxury. I'm talking about lifeline. Why is self-care important? Or is self-care important? Yeah, builds confidence in you. Yes. Correct. Okay, now the question வேற மாதிரி கேட்கிறேன். So what is one self-care? If you are a caretaker, what is one self-care you do? So
Doing
what is
exercise. Doing simple exercise.
Sorry, ma'am, I couldn't hear you.
Doing simple exercise.
Doing simple exercises, okay.
Hygienic food.
Hygienic food, correct. Grooming themselves, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Sleeping properly, exactly. Actually, sleeping is a basic need. Sleeping properly without guilt is what somebody had written. That's the amount of guilt. Na thungita, who will take care? Who will do this? So they write simple things, very simple things. Because you give so much, your time, your energy, and your love, everything is for somebody else. But அதோடு சேர்ந்து, to sustain your emotional and physical well-being, you need to spend a little more time, right? Think of yourself, நீங்க ஒரு engine நினைச்சுக்கோங்க, you're pulling everything, driving everything, and even engines need maintenance. நீங்க அதையும் eventually maintain பண்ணலன்னா, that will also break down, right? So that's what happens if you're going to neglect your own needs without proper rest or without proper support and time to recharge. Caregivers, face a lot of burnout. Correct? Yes. Another case I would want to share with you is this person again. She had a child with special needs, autism இருந்த ஒரு child. அவங்களால completely couldn't take care because a lot of negative things. I'm sure, and to get that strength and positivity, munadi, I'm sure every single person would have gone through a lot of, negative comments, or could be from the same, your own family members would have commented all of that. And she was in the verge of, she said, like, ma'am, I want to commit suicide. That's why she came to me. Baby was only, how many months was the baby? 11 months. But proper development illane apame kandupidichanga. Then in 2 years again she came. She said, ma'am, I cannot, because her husband left her because of all of these problems. So Tania, single mother, she didn't know what to do. So when we told her, come to this school, and she was in this school only. So she came to this, and it is a government school, it's a normal government school. So she left the child here. So I had asked her, if you are, she was angry, upset with the society, everybody with zero help, how can she, she cannot go to full-time work because of this, because she had to take care of the child. So I told her if she can enroll herself, if you desperately want to do something, rather than expecting somebody to, அவங்க படிச்சு புரிஞ்சு எல்லாம் பண்ணணும், you enroll yourself in the B.Ed. There's a course called, right, the B.Ed special education. So நீங்க அதை ஒரு வாட்டி ட்ரை பண்ணி பாருங்க, முடிஞ்சா we will finish it, right? So again, like in the 5 years, what we have noticed is she's taking care of, she finished the B.Ed, she finished her B.Ed in special education, and she's running a small school in that Thuraipakkam area. So for kids only with special needs. She's a single child, so she gets little income from that, and she knows how to take care of these kids. And she runs a very small school, but now she's like, educating the other parents how to take care and how to ignore the society and all of those things, but focus on yourself and your child not. So this is again a very inspiring lady, right? She's a very young mom, but nobody to help. Now she's doing amazingly well, right? Another kid, I would say, நீங்க ஒரு family member, okay, நீங்க support எடுத்துக்கிறீங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, good thing, you need to get support from every possible way. But because both of them were working, they left the or child with ADHD. The grandmother had to take full care of the ADHD child, and it's not possible at all. Say, ஒரு grandparentனால அவ்வளோலாம் ஓடி பண்ண முடியாது. So if you're actually getting help, please understand, can that person run around? Can that person, do whatever is expected? So maybe you should split the work. Okay, in the afternoon, maybe that child is a little tired. Maybe that time the grandmother can give her full attention. But other times when the child is very, very hyper, grandmother cannot do it, right? So when you're, getting help, please understand who can help you and how they can, what way you can get the help from them, right? So please be, again, this grandmother is from the same school. She would sit in the school, like, the child cannot write. So she will sit with him, write all the notes, take it home. And again, that guy was too good in math. So on the kid, now he's finished 5th standard and he's moved out of the school. But 5 years, she was in the same school. She would sit, she does not know anything, but math, science, whatever they say, she will just Tamil copy pannittu, she will go home, teach the little boy, right? Amazing caregiver, right? She is. So why this self-care is important? Again, only to prevent burnouts from you. அப்பதான் உங்களுக்கு கொஞ்சமாவது இந்த emotional resilience வேணும் அப்படின்னா, you need, yes, right? Most of it நீங்க சொன்னதுதான், eating healthy food, or enough sleep, right? Working on a hobby. Yeah, will you have time? Maybe not, but small things, simple things. I get 10 minutes, right? அந்த டைம்ல நான் எனக்காக, it's okay to spend like, half hour. This is my time, I need to take care of myself, right? So just 5 minutes கூட ஒரு breathing exercise. Okay, so a lot of common myths நான் சொன்னேன் இல்லையா, self care is very selfish, and I don't have time at all. So you need to find time. You will not have time. Okay, or a simple walk போறதுக்கு, getting help or connecting with friends. Majority of them isolate themselves. Friends ஓடையும் family ஓடையும் பேசுறதே கிடையாது. But don't do that. Okay, and if somebody, if somebody is asking you, what kind of help do you want? Don't hesitate to ask. Can you take care of my, kid or whoever you are caring for, half hour in a week or 2 hours in a week, whatever time they are able to give. And the 2 hours, and don't feel guilty about it. When they are asking, just take that help, right? If you need it, please go for it, right? And very practical things பண்ணினா கூட போதும் உங்களுக்கு. Like 5-minute breaks நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி, breathing exercise or listening to music, um, or just sitting around, ஒரு எனக்கு குவாய்ட்டா உட்காரணும் because I'm so tired and exhausted. I just want to sit in one place, right? And முடிஞ்ச அளவுக்கு delegate பண்ணுங்க. உங்களுக்கு financially if you're able to get help, இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் extra help வாங்கிக்கோங்க. இல்லைன்னா as much as possible family members get a help வாங்கிக்கோங்க, right? Involve all family members so that you're not exhausted. Okay, set boundaries. Sometimes it is okay to say no to some of the things which எனக்கு இது முடியாதுன்னு சொல்லுங்க. Okay, and again, family members, one other client was telling me, they expect me to go to all family functions. I'm not able to. It is okay, people will understand. Start explaining, I'm not able to, and then the things can avaru, but other things I cannot come. Learn to say no for non-essential demands, because other things you don't have a choice. If you are a career person, if you're going to work and then take care of, because doctor appointments, you need time, you need time when you have to go to school, and all of those things require a lot of your time. So some things not very important, it's okay to say no to that, right? And another dad, I will tell you, he's a father who is actually caring for his 10-year-old epilepsy older child. So this person is also want to add. Yeah. Okay. So and the dad, there's nothing. What can I do, ma'am? It's like, all night and all day. And sometimes, the dads who are caregivers also don't know how to do what self-care. So when we asked, he has epilepsy. So I'll have to constantly keep monitoring this child. I don't know what else to do. So exercise and all panna mudiyadhu. And the kid vittu na inge me povanda. What can I do? Right? And I didn't know, because if he cannot step out even for a few minutes, what can he do, right? He can do breathing exercise. He says, I'm tired, ma'am. I do all of this, nothing works. And Salapethukku, is there anybody who has tried meditation and all, and it doesn't work for me? ஒரு இடத்துல உட்கார சொன்னா என்னால உட்காரவே முடியாது. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Yes, okay, because yes, right, okay. So when so அதனால ஒரு மெடிடேஷன் பண்ண முடியாதுங்கிறவரை போய் நான் மெடிடேட் பண்ணுங்கன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது, because I have to be in that place only. Give me something like that, right? So what I recommended for him was journal writing. So he started with gratitude journal. What can I be grateful for, right? Because I have a child who is suffering from epilepsy. I don't know if he will leave me. So he started writing, journal. Every day 3 things, but every day 3 things should not be repeating. Thank you because I am alive. No, nothing like that. But be very, very specific. Be very specific. He said, like, what is gratitude journal? Okay. Gratitude journal, na, ma'am, I am grateful for whatever I have today in my life. Thankful, so நான் grateful இருக்கேன். So other daily, every day, I just asked him to write 3 things. It can be first thing in the morning or last thing in the night. Bed ஏறதுக்கு முன்னாடி இல்ல நீங்க எந்திரிச்ச உடனே 3 things I am grateful for. Can somebody share what are you grateful for? Like, 3 things today. I'm grateful for these 3 things. Life itself, right? Yes. Yeah. Sometimes, yes, life itself. And what are the other things? Anybody else who would like to share? Anybody else? Family, okay. Right? So he started, actually, essential food, right? So if my driver, nice. So what happens actually, I mean, if you want to experiment, you can try this. I've tried and it works wonders. 1 week மட்டும் try பண்ணி பாருங்க. In the beginning, first 3 days, you will not know what to write. எப்பவுமே இப்படிதான் எழுதுவோம், for my life, for my family. And these are the 3 common things we always write, right? But eventually what will happen is, you'll start focusing, why am I writing the same things over and over again? 3rd day, 4th day, you'll start looking at the other important, ரொம்ப minute details எல்லாம் பார்க்க ஆரம்பிக்கும். Right? See, we had to go through this in the second wave of the pandemic and the lockdown is when we realized how important oxygen is, to all of us when there was, scarcity. But other it is given free to us, but we don't even thank God, or do we even appreciate that it is given free to us? But when we had to pay, and for this there were no cylinders and no oxygen, that's when we started appreciating also. All these years we never appreciated. So we will start focusing on, okay, what is today? What am I grateful for today? Right? So even if you are not a caregiver, start doing this, and this helps actually. Okay, thank you so much for right. So you try, all of you try to, from today till next Saturday, oh my God, I should be, so grateful for all of these things in my life, which we take for granted. Correct? You'll start. And this person actually says, I have so many things to be grateful for, ma'am, but I have been worrying only about this child, But it's not that, on the child or worry, but when I start focusing on all the other positive things, I'm still able to have that, that resilience to come back and bounce back and give that whatever my child requires, right? Yes. And one person had written, right, in the beginning, when we go out, the public transport, it is very difficult. I've seen so many people, கொஞ்சம் upper middle class இருக்காங்க, but with a child with special needs இருக்கு அப்படின்னா, they don't even want to stay in our country because of all of these reasons. They leave the country because, at least அந்த acceptance இருக்கு வெளியில, இங்க acceptance இல்ல அப்படிங்கிறதுனால. Right? Okay. And small, we talked about all of these things, and sleep, your sleep, exercise, and needs. Yara இருந்தாலும் இந்த 3 தான் priority இருக்கணும். Yeah. So nutritious food, somebody had written in the chat box, and sleep, prioritizing your sleep, and exercise if possible, little bit of exercise at least. And again, joining a support group, like I told you in that school, and the 20 families, they are there for each other all the time. So உங்க வீட்டுக்கிட்ட ஒரு support group இருக்கு, இதுக்காகவே இருக்கு அப்படின்னா, I will also, which area you tell me, if there is a support group, I will ask them to add you if you need to be there, right? So support group la irundinga, it's always better. No, it's better than, being in a normal group where it is always forwarded messages. In the support groups are important. It's needed for you, right? And one person I can rely on for support. Do I have that person in my list, right? And or one self-care activity, anytime I can do. What is that self-care activity, right? So it is one self-care activity, or it is like one person who I can depend on, and one boundary I can set for myself to protect my energy. Can be saying no to, ஒரு ஆஃபீஸ்ல ஒரு unwanted work இருக்கலாம், இல்ல ஒரு family member இருக்கலாம், wherever, எங்க என்னுடைய boundary நான் செட் பண்ணிக்கலாம், right? So these are things. And again, if another parent, another mom she has a child who has Down syndrome, and majority of the times she feels very guilty because she knows she's overdoing it for the child, but எனக்கு எங்க நோ சொல்லணும்னே தெரியாது, அங்கதான் இந்த boundaries set பண்ண தெரியும். You need to learn how to set boundaries. And her worry is, if I say yes to somebody who's going to take care, then it means I am running away from my responsibilities. No, you're not running away from your responsibility. You need help. You need to take help. And there are people, there are very nice people who are actually healthy in nowadays. We have, like the school I'm talking about, we always tell, one day, one parent, just leave your child and go take a break. Why? Because we do have volunteers. So we are there and we tell, we'll take care of the child. You go take a break today. So, we take turns like that. So it is okay. And volunteers are there to help and support, take care of your child, right? So when there is, the school I'm talking about is in Chennai, ma'am. It is in Mogapet. So we do a lot of things for these kids with special needs in that school. right? So, and it's an amazing group. And once in a month or once in 2 months, we meet. It is just like, how they feel in face of the cargo, or a Saturday evening we meet, right? It can be venting, it can be talking about their problems, even if I'm not there, but that group is still there. The 20 parents will come, meet, talk. It's a very nice, it's like more like a family. That school is like that. Okay. So is there anything else you want to add, volunteers? Yes. How can we regulate and improve?
There's a question from Priyanka. How can we regulate and improve children with emotional disturbance? I think Priyanka must be a caregiver. I'm not sure.
Ma'am, can you please explain what you're talking about? Kunja detail la explain panuma.
Priyanka, ma'am, you can unmute.
Can you see?
It's a general question. How can we regulate some children might have emotional disturbances like depression, some adamant children. How can we handle those? As a parent, I'm asking this question.
No, are you talking about a child with special needs, or are you talking about
Emotional disturbance comes under special
it's
needs.
emotional disturbance anybody can have, right, ma'am? So it's like, a normal adolescent child can have, a normal child can have, a special needs child. Because, do we, first we need to learn how to validate their feelings, right? Yes, I understand you're going through, because we have one of our students has, he's high functional autistic child. So when he was young, he was like, okay, he was very normal, and now he's like, he's getting into his adolescent age. So on the emotional regulation, கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டமா இருக்கு. So he's hitting, hurting, screaming, right? So because he understands, when we call him and talk to him, I understand you're going through this. Can you explain? First, when we learn, number first regulate பண்ணணும் இல்லையா? Yes, we are validating what that child is. Are you feeling angry? Are you sad? Are you frustrated? Can you say, why are you feeling frustrated? You understand, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
So இது எல்லாம் first கேட்டுட்டு, then teaching them how to, then we talk about how we teach emotional regulation to them, or modeling, how do we model positive emotion, positive regulate பண்றதுக்கும் negative I'm feeling because the whatever it is, the child hurt me, the child commented, இதெல்லாம் நடந்தது, அதனால நான் இப்படி இருக்கேன் அப்படின்னா, okay, can you do a small simple breathing activity, you know based on what the child is going through, the age and everything, then we can come up with, we can do all of these things. Or
Thank
calming
you.
technique இருக்கலாம், இல்ல ஒரு practicing okay, this is, if the child is older, he understands everything. If இந்த problem இருக்குன்னா இந்த problem எப்படி solve பண்ணணும், right? So teaching a normal child and or a special needs child, they are two different things. ஏன்னா இங்க when the child is very very young, what we teach them is using storybooks, right? There are a lot of books with emotions. They எப்படி regulate பண்ணணும், why is he crying? So, the child is bullying me, that's why I'm crying. Okay, so what should we do, right? So you ask that child, right? நீங்க இல்ல அந்த கிட்ட புரியாது அப்படின்னா, then you can explain. See, the child is bullying you, you don't like it, I understand, and your emotion is perfectly correct. If you can go to your teacher and tell them, right? So your teacher will talk to the entire class. Usually teachers do that, bully பண்ற கிட்ட பாத்துக்குவாங்க, right? So you need to understand what is happening, why it is happening, and how we can help.
Okay. Thank you
Correct?
for your
And நீங்க first, after all of your needs, இது எல்லாமே நான் ட்ரை பண்ணிட்டேன் மேம், பட் எனக்கு இன்னமும் எனக்கு வந்து I still feel low, I still feel sad, right? Then I would always tell, please get help, ஒரு counselor கிட்டயோ ஒரு therapist கிட்டயோ, please get help, so that you at least to vent, or there's somebody to listen to you without judging you, without, it's very confidential, and Mindcare is doing an amazing job. So please get help. We have a, a group of counselors are there who are always willing to help you and guide you. So get help for yourself first. Special needs schools are all the kids. They're away by which, okay. Ma'am, usually, see, special needs schools, அப்படின்னா inclusive schools தான். They will not generalize, ma'am. Mostly, how special schools are supposed to work is they will be in a separate room, ma'am. Even if it is an inclusive school, அவங்க most of the time அவங்க ஒரு special அந்த separate ஒரு special educator இருப்பாங்க. And other times, ஒரு மற்ற few classes-க்கு they will go sit with the in a classroom with other kids, so they need to understand அப்படின்னு. If they are generalizing, then you need to tell the teacher, ma'am, because the teacher first should know that the child needs help, and the child cannot be compared with the other either thing. Which we can make the teacher to understand that child. Yes, you need to talk to the teacher in the beginning, and please help them understand that my child needs special help or attention, or right. Usually they will not generalize. Usually if the teacher understands what the problem is, they should not, that's the right word, they should not be generalizing. அப்படி பண்றாங்க அப்படின்னா one of the PTMs, ask them and sit, talk to them. This is what my child is going through. My child has this difficulty, so they need a little help. Maybe they'll ask you for an assessment and all. So assessment முடிச்சிட்டு then they should. Generalizing is not acceptable.
Miss Agnes Sengmale has raised her hand. Ma'am, kindly unmute and speak, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Can you
evening,
hear me?
ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, well, like this is like it's been disturbing me for quite some time in school. It's nothing related to behavioral issues by special children or things like that. What happens is girls, the grown-up girls, when they go to the toilet during their menstrual cycle, they don't clean the mess properly. It seems like they wantonly mess the whole toilet and get back. Now I've been trying various ways to call them right from classes 6 upwards, explained to them, requested them, then gave them stern warnings even. But even yesterday, it was the thing, and can you please suggest some ideas? Like, if I'm unable to meet the parents also, like, even if I have to send a message, it would go commonly to the boys even. So, what could be there is some block, isn't it, behind this sort of a behavior? Like, students, they have taken something and they are trying to express it this way. Or can you please suggest, ma'am, what could be the...
Ma'am, I'll repeat the question. Just want to understand if I got the question right. You're talking about girls during menstrual periods messing up the bathroom, or flushing their pads in the toilet. Is that what you're talking about? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. See, usually, ma'am, it is not only in your school. I've seen it in most schools. They why they do it, only they will know, right? So what we tell them, it's like, will they do it? Will they do it in their houses? Majority of them will not do it in their houses. Not majority, nobody will do it in their house, right?
Nobody would.
Nobody. So what we tell them is, in one of the schools, because I was asked to address this, and I told them, I called one of the attender akkas who does, she has to clean, right? They're also human beings, and they don't have to go through this because you did that mess, correct? So I bring that akka and I tell them, what she has to go through because of whatever these kids do. Right. And I tell them, like, will you let your mother, put her hand inside your, even your home toilet? It's just you people using it. Is it okay? It is not okay. No, it is disgusting. Oh, no, right? That's how they will all talk. Then why should this akka do it? She has to eat also. She has to, that is not even her job, correct? Why should this akka do whatever, and mostly, ma'am, when you bring that person who's actually doing it, right? These girls understand. And trust me, ma'am, it is not only in school, it happens in corporates also. Why they do it, only they will know. So they get this, they have this sadistic pleasure. I've like done some damage to the school, or what I don't know.
Yeah, That's what I too felt. It's no lesser than going for graffiti inside the toilet once, right? So it is something similar to that.
Correct.
And mess means it is not a small mess. My God, it is really awful.
Right. Right. See, it is, I mean, I don't think it is, these kids are ignorant or accidental. I don't think none of this is accidental.
Yes,
They do
yes.
it intentionally.
Wanted. Yeah.
Yes, they do it intentionally. So it's like, sometimes, like, I don't know if your school has like a camera which shows like who's working inside. Next time, I mean, see, sadly, we'll have to call the parents and talk to them. Would you do it at home? You would not do it at home. It's sad that,
Yes.
so usually I tell the schools, bring in that akka and let her talk or you talk, having her there so that, it's not easy for her and she does not have to go through this. And most of the time it is stopped. Still one or two cases comes. It's better than, having 100 cases, but this is like one or two still happens. And some schools, ma'am, very sadly, they have an attender inside the bathroom only sitting there. Like, it's not required, but this is what is happening.
That is what I think that would be the last resort that I have to
But
take up.
right, see this, but before doing that, ma'am, you do this, just the, 6, 7, 8 girls, and not necessarily 6, 7, 8 will do it. Even the 12th grader will do it.
Yeah.
Right? So it is.
Okay.
And so it is. You just have to have a talk and tell them, it is not fair that we have to make the Saka go through all of, whatever she's going. Correct? Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. There are, I mean, for caregivers, I've seen certification courses, ma'am, but with special needs, this B.Ed with the special needs, I've seen it is, there are some open universities like, IGNO and all has it, and it helps, ma'am. But do you need it? You see, there are courses, but why do you need a course, ma'am? So if you want to help others or if it's for yourself, the history team has shared the feedback in the chat box, so you can please fill in the feedback. And if there is any questions or concerns, please ask me. So I also want to end by saying, like, prioritizing your well-being is not a sign of weakness. These non-caregivers, please help whenever possible, wherever possible. Where, if you see a caregiver and you know that person needs help, just volunteer and ask, is there anything I can do for you? And if they are, most of the time they will say no, but if it is, if you can do it, please offer that help. And we want to tell you, you are very strong, you are valued, and you are enough. You are doing the best possible. And the numbers are here. So if you need any help, because you will take the best care of your whoever needs that help, but you need that help also. So whoever is needing that help, I've tried all of that, and I will also share, if you're going to fill the feedbacks, we'll get your email IDs. Whoever needs that, in a questionnaire form, I just need to check, ma'am, if I'm physically burnt out or socially or financially. I just need to understand, then I will share the questionnaire with you, so it will be like, you can check.
So we've shared the Mind Care helpline and Mrs. Jyoti Kolatur ma'am's number as well, the official number. So you can get in touch for all your counseling needs and any other help in terms of handling children with special needs as well.
The person who's talking is Preeti ma'am, and she heads the Mind Care and the medical guidance team. So you can reach out the helpline numbers, she'll be handling them, and you can reach out anytime. She's a a very nice and sweet person, and she would be willing to help you all.
And kindly provide your feedback in the following link. And if you have any questions which you are not able to ask now, but you want to ask to Mrs. Jyoti Kolatur as well, you can use the space in the form. Mrs. Nega Bhardwaj has also shared from the Prashasti Medical and Mr. Shanmugapriya as well. Yes. Please use the feedback form and provide your feedback. And if there are any more questions, kindly post it. There are no more questions. We thank Jyoti ma'am for the great, crisp and insightful session on how to prevent burnout in caregivers, importantly. And we will look forward to another webinar in the future next month. Till then, namaste. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.